Hello everyone and welcome to Career Conversation Podcast. In this podcast, we invite industry experts from various domains to share their learnings and experience. In today's episode, we have a very special guest, Prashant Sangoi sir. Prashant sir completed his engineering year 2000 and he started his career at Patni Systems. Currently, he is working as a director of technology at Stronex Global. So, welcome Prashant sir to the show.
Thank you, Dushyant, for having me here. Really excited to talk to you.
Okay. So, it's more than 20 years, right? You started your career in year 2000 and now it's 24. So, how was the overall career journey?
Very enriching. I think learned a lot of things in these 24 years. Kept learning every year. The exciting part of my journey is I did new things every year. I didn't do the same thing every year, and that's what really enriched me till this date and keeps me going further from now.
And when you started in 2000, the skill set which is required, and now someone is starting in 24. What are the skill set now today required to start a career in this domain?
Fundamentally, the skill sets have not changed, right? Fundamentally, you need
Okay.
your data structures, your algorithmic skills, your basic programming skills to be there in this software technology career. But yes, exposure has changed a lot. What we had in 2000 and what we have now. The kind of tools that are out there in the market has changed dramatically, right? When I started my career, I remember I was using TextPad or Notepad to do Java programming, and now there are so many fantastic IDEs, so many better tools that people can use. And I think that's the main difference. But
Right,
fundamentally, programming skills as a person doesn't change.
right. And if we go more deeper in the one, there are multiple roles available in the technology domain or software engineering field, right? Okay, it can be front end development, back end development, system designs, architecture, DevOps. So, can you share the more experience about the each vertical in this one?
Yeah, absolutely. See, when we started the career, it was basic, plain and simple developer, right?
Right,
And you had to do everything. You had to
right,
become a BA when needed. You had to become a tester when needed. You had to become the DevOps engineer. You did the deployments. You did everything. It was like
right,
one person, you are an engineer, you do everything to get that live. Now things have changed, right? Now you have many different specific expertise in the market. So you can be a developer, you can be a UI developer, which is a separate. Earlier, there was no difference between a backend and a UI developer. You used to code in servlets as well as JSPs as well as HTML. I mean, this way back in 2000 when I started my career. But now you can be specific expertise in React component building, so you become a UI expert. You can bring a lot of reusability factors, lot of designing factors in the UI, so you get that UI developer. Then you can be a backend developer, whatever code you write. Then AI/ML has picked up a big time, right? Data science.
right,
I mean, the whole data element, which was never existing when we started our career. Now that is a very upcoming stream, very huge stream, and a lot of people are excited about that stream. So that's one thing.
right.
Then you have your QA engineers who are focused on testing. Then you have your specific DevOps skills, infrastructure skills, building infrastructure as a code as an infrastructure or infrastructure as a code. All those skills are very important and they become a pure line of career, right? And
Right.
that can be segregated. Then you have your BA skills. So BA profiles are also coming up. More technology people are also opting for becoming a BA. So multiple options available now for people to choose, uh, especially the students to choose from.
Right.
So it's really they can explore, they can understand more things, and to their liking, what suits them. Then they can go deep into those career paths.
And you touch upon the fintech also, right? So how the technology applied in fintech is different from the other the domains?
I think fintech has been uh, uh, technology evolution every day, right? If you talk about simple thing like a UPI, like making a payment, it's become so simple, so easy that a
Right,
payment within a second can reach into your account when I'm doing a QR code transaction, right? Now take that forward. I mean, if you look backwards 20 years ago, 25 years ago, it was very difficult to make payments online. So
right,
fintech now, this is just a domestic. Now, if you look at it, how does it? You look at apps like Zerodha. Trading has become so simple, right? So all that is an evolution of fintech. And technology is going to be the biggest enabler for fintech, not only for the industries to grow, but also from a usability perspective to capturing more markets, capturing more consumers' interest into the fintech industry. If you talk about payments and global payments, which I am a big part of for my major part of my career, um, payments has fintech technology has helped payments industry like never before, and it's continuously evolving, it's continuously upgrading, it's continuously making payments easier, faster, more reachable to any part of the world, not just
right,
into a country, but we can make real time payments across borders now. That's a big thing, right? And technology has been the prime foundation to which the whole industry is evolving, right? You talk about bitcoins, cryptocurrency, blockchain technology. All this is helping fintech to become give better services to our customers, give faster services to our customers, give more traceability, and and in fact help the community overall, right? So
right,
technology in finance industry has just taken a leap, and it will continue to take leaps in the coming years also. So it's going to be a very exciting industry to watch out for.
right. So domain understanding is very important for any engineer to work in any domain, right? So when
Yep.
any engineer want to work in the fintech domain, what are the domain understanding they should have when they start career in fintech?
I think some basics about what finance is all about, what money is all about, how a bank account works. What we look for is logical skills, analytical skills, and then we train them, right? We have our set trainings, and if the student has the right acumen to catch up those basic financial points, basic accounting principles, which are even taught in, you can take your minors in finance, in accounting, in understanding how the investment bank works. You can take your minors in your college. The students can take the minor subjects in the college, and the basics and the fundamentals are there. Then they can catch up, they can learn. So, two things required from our point of view is the basics of finances and analytical acumen.
Right. So as you mentioned that all these transactions happen just fraction of a minute or fraction of a second. You scan the QR code and payment has been transferred, right? And there are lots of internal process has been defined in there, either from one bank to another bank. So can you explain me that how the process works, for the transfer of money, and what are the opportunities available for any engineer to build a career in multiple levels?
So, definitely there are multiple factors. So, first you have your different payment gateways that are involved that connect you with the bank, or they connect you with NPCI. If I
Right,
talk about the Indian context, similarly for any other country, it will have their own local central bank that the gateways connect to. So first you have to interface with those gateways like GPay, like PhonePe. Those are nothing but your payment gateways, right? They connect with the banks, they have their tie-ups with the bank, they have their security with the bank, so the authentication, then authorization happens whether you are coming with the right credentials to make that payment. So that's the first part of making any transaction, right? Making sure that the right parties are doing the payment. And the second piece is making sure that I have the funds in my account, so you have to do all the checks and balances, right customer, etc. So that's happened. Then you have to make sure that you are interfacing. Once the payment is created, then it is sent out to NPCI. Once it is sent out to NPCI, NPCI will transfer it to the corresponding bank. So again, a gateway will come into picture. So when you are trying to make a payment in a fraction of a second, all these things need to happen. The workflow needs to be managed. If there is any exception, then the notification needs to go back to the customer. So the entire workflow has to be created in a proper way, right? And all the checks and balances have to be updated. When you have multiple transactions happening, you have to take care of multi-threadings, and you have to take care of the atomicity of the transactions, right? From a programming point of view or a designing point of view. So a lot of things are involved. But now the technology has been so advanced and the programs have been so good that all of this is happening within a fraction of a second or a second.
right,
And that's what the technology has enabled in this world,
right,
correct? And that's how I mean, again, cloud technology, cloud platforms, auto scalability is also helping a lot in all these things and making it more scalable, high performing. So yeah, there are a lot of things involved in this. It's just not one
Right.
simple transaction. It involves multiple steps, uh, becomes complex sometimes when exceptions happen, but we have to handle all of that.
Right. So when I understand this pipeline, there are opportunity at each level, right? There are payment gateways, there are NPCI, and there are banks, right? These are the customer-facing entities. So the designing their applications, designing their user interface. The second part is the developing their systems, either the developers or the programmers, the front-end, back-end developer work over there. Then there is a security aspect where the security professional can work to secure the transaction, right? And there are other entities where everything is combined, and the cloud infrastructure, either the public cloud can be there or private cloud, and there are opportunities there. So designing, developers, security, cloud, all opportunities are there across the fintech, right?
And UI also, the app, the usability of the app. Along with the UI, there are opportunities for UX designers who are really doing the user experience. How many less clicks they can go and perform the transactions, how fast they can do it. So again, you can add more and more to that, right?
Right. And I think we have seen recently so much innovation in UX for the fintech companies and the banks, right? Because companies like
Absolutely,
Grab or GPay have done so much good work in terms of design innovation for the financial transactions.
absolutely, right? Not only on the mobile apps, but also for our internal operation apps, right? So
Right.
when all these things are happening, banks or fintech companies also have their business operations, and for them efficiency is the biggest thing. So UX comes into play even for our internal apps a lot, where it is about the internal users using the internal applications for doing the reconciliations, doing the accounting pieces, making sure the cash are all accounted for, and they want to do it in the less number of clicks, right? They want to do it really efficiently so that they can make sure that all the transactions are done, and you don't want thousands of operation users doing the recs. So UX is important across the board.
Right. And opportunities are available as we discuss about the payment gateway or the bank systems are there, but also there are many B2B vendors who provide this technology to the banks and other provider, which help them to build the systems.
Yes. So there are many banks who go for, there are many products, products like Murex, products like Fenestra have their products, Pfizer have their products, Oracle has their products like FlexCube,
Right.
TCS has its products. So there are many such products and vendors who provide these services to the banks, as well as provide these kind of modular component products which are used for the application products or the business
Right.
applications. So there can be it can be a workflow orchestrator, for example,
Mhm.
right? You can create a workflow orchestrator which can be used by a bank to do the transactions. So
Right.
opportunities are in multiple places because of fintech industry. If I just talk about fintech industry,
Right.
the same workflow orchestrator can be used by any other, like even airline company or a courier company who want to really track their thing end to end, right? So
Mhm.
opportunities are cross domain, opportunities are in domain, and opportunities are everywhere. And fintech largely is also dependent on a lot of these vendor providers who help them grow their technology landscape.
Right. As you mentioned that the multiple countries, multiple currency, so the volume is very large. So how to build a system which manages that scale?
Exactly. So nowadays, the biggest thing to build a system which manages, so all these 180 countries have different regulations, and we have to cater to all those different regulations, and they keep on changing.
Mhm.
So you never code or hard code anything. You basically create a low code, more configuration driven applications,
Mhm.
so that when a new currency you want to onboard, it's just configuring it. You don't have to really code the rules and the regulations of that. You can just configure it. So when you're designing or creating an application, create low code but high performance, more data driven, more configuration driven designs rather than all hard coded stuff. I think that's the key when you want to scale your system to multiple countries or multiple currencies or even multiple markets, customer bases, etc., etc.
Right. And in terms of understand the volume, there is a huge volume of data is coming. How the system is managing that data and load.
So again, we run on an auto scale model, right? So we have multiple nodes running on Kubernetes, and whenever there is large volume, whichever, so
Right.
basically our whole architecture is microservice based architecture, and I think that's the way to build in future. And whichever service gets more load, they auto scale. So when they auto scale, they use more CPU, they use more capacity from the cloud infrastructure, and therefore they can then cater to those high volumes. Generally, in a payment industry, the peaks are not regular, and the speed is not high all throughout the day. You have your peak time, you have your low time, etc., etc. So the best way to cater to that is create auto scalable, self auto scalable code and put it onto a cloud network which can scale up and scale down as per the volumes,
Right.
right?
So cloud help.
So yes,
Yeah, cloud help.
a cloud helps tremendously,
Okay.
tremendously, right? Again, it helps tremendously to reduce our cost. So if traditionally, if I would have done this 10 years ago or 15 years ago onto a virtual hosted server within our system, then I would have needed a CPU and a capacity which will be my peak capacity running throughout the day or throughout the year. Whereas in case of cloud, I can run on a average kind of capacity, and when the high volume comes, I can scale up automatically and then scale down when that capacity is not needed. Right? So cloud definitely helps in terms of performance, and it helps in reducing cost tremendously. We almost save 50 to 60% of our cost otherwise.
Right. So we discussed about the multiple opportunities available at multiple levels in fintech and technology. Now, when you are hiring, what are the skill set you look for any of the roles?
As I told you, right, basic analytical, programmatical skills that person can explain the concept that he used
Okay.
in writing that, basic data structures, right? Understanding of the data structures, able to write a program. So when we try to hire somebody for a software developer role, we give them a hacker rank test,
Okay.
right? We give them a test, and they have to write code out there. They may not satisfy 100% of the test cases, but if they are able to explain the concepts they have used, why they have used those concepts,
Mhm.
that means they know what they are doing, and then they can be trained in a very small amount of investment in terms of time and energy of the other people, and they can learn and grow. So we are also looking at people who have a learning ability and an acumen to learn and grow with us. So in my point of view, the learning capability is the biggest factor that I look at whenever I'm trying to hire a person. Obviously, you don't get ready-made engineers from colleges.
Right.
It's not there. When we were in college, even we were not an ready-made professional, right? We have to train, we have to invest in them. So we hire them in the last semester. We train them for a month, month and a half.
Okay.
And what we look for them is the ability to explain the concepts they've used, understanding of those concepts, and ability to learn more.
Right. And if someone is having some experience, then the process is same or something different.
No, the process is different, right? Then the process is they have to be at a better level because then we are expected them to already know certain things,
Right.
right? And the concepts of that technology of, say, if we are hiring for Java or for UI React or for DevOps in terms of cloud infrastructure, then they should know that very clearly. So when I'm hiring a software developer who will work in Java, I'm not really I'm giving him the choice that they can choose any language they want when they are doing the code test, right? So what we are when we are seeing a student, we are not seeing their Java capability because ultimately a programming language is more about syntax and the concepts of that language.
Right.
What we want to see is, do they know what they have learned? Do they know what they know? Or do they know what they are saying they know? and how well they can explain that concept.
right,
And that's very important for us. If they are able to explain what they know, what they have done, if they show that acumen that okay, they are ready to learn new technologies, they are ready to explore anything which comes their way, which is the need of the organization, then that's good enough, right? From a student point of view. But when it goes to a lateral, then we go for a specific skill set, right? We measure them on the understanding of that skill set, because obviously the expectations are different in both these levels.
right. So clarity of the fundamentals is the most important thing, right? They should know the basic concepts very clearly so they can apply and
Correct.
then scale over there.
Absolutely. That's the
And
fundamentals.
right. And what are the importance of the soft skill? Because they are these are the hard skill we talk about, but again the soft skill also play critical role in any of this profession.
I think softer skills and the attitude or aptitude play a bigger role than the harder skills. Harder skills can be acquired, can be learned any point of time. The softer skills come along with you,
Mhm.
right? And they play a big role. Your communication, the way you express yourself, the way you are able to explain the concepts, uh, the attitude you are showing that if you don't know something, you're not trying to put a fake face around that you know it, and you're saying, okay, I don't know it. The honesty that I don't know it, I'll learn it, and I'll make sure that I learn it very quickly. I think those aspects are more important than skills from students' point of view. Yes, skills are important, but I think it will be 30-40%. I think 60% are the softer part.
Right. And so then, what is our suggestion to all the professionals who are preparing for their jobs? What our guidance to them? They should
I think
focus
my
more on the
base
soft skill.
uh, softer skills comes with you as your character, as your upbringing, as what a person you are, and you don't work on it for a day or two. You have been working on it for years, right? I think that's my take on it. I think if you show that if you learn more, if you grow, keep learning something new every day, every week, every month, I think you'll take care of yourself, right? In the field that you are, just keep learning. Keep learning that technology, one new concept every day. If you keep doing that and showing that, I think you should be good enough on the harder skills. And that way, your softer skills will automatically build because you are acquiring new knowledge.
Right,
And that will automatically come out when you talk to anybody.
right,
So if you are honest and sincere enough and you are learning every day, right? My one advice to any student will be keep learning, right? Don't, I mean, do whatever you want to do, but keep learning one new concept every day.
right. But then we have seen that many people are overwhelmed with the information overload, and they are confused that what to learn is more bigger question now for them.
I think focus on fundamentals, focus on data structures. Every programming skill, the fundamentals still remain the same. Algorithms, data structures, how to logically solve a problem. I think these three aspects are the fundamentals. They can learn any language, but they have to focus on these three things in those languages, right? Any language they can learn. I think they can learn Python, they can learn Java, they can learn React, but basically problem solving skills is the biggest skill that any organization is looking for. So as long as you can solve a problem in a very structured way,
Mhm.
that's the biggest thing that I would advise anybody to do. Solve the problem, because we are here to solve problems of some industry or the other, right? Of some organization or the other. So if you can learn problem solving skills, that's the best way to go for it.
Right. And once you have that skill, you can apply that across the industry. Right? All industry have similar technology, similar problems that can be solved.
Absolutely. So that's what, if you learn problem solving, then whatever problems comes to you, you will have a structured way of approaching towards the solution.
Right.
And once you have learned that skill, then it does not matter which industry you are in, which domain you are in, which part of the industry you're working for, whether you're working for a DevOps engineer or you're working as a database administrator or you're working on any part of that software industry,
Right.
you are going to solve a problem ultimately.
What is your final advice to all the people who are looking for the final advice from our side and want to start their career in technology or multiple verticals?
I think my final advice will be have the passion in technology. And when you have the passion in technology, keep learning new concepts.
Mhm.
And thirdly, problem solve. Learn to solve the problems. That's it. These 3 points.
Great, amazing. Thank you so much, Prashant sir, for your time and your valuable insights. I think many people will learn. I also learn a lot today from this conversation. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Dushyant. Really appreciate you taking your time and giving me this opportunity. Have a great day.